What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, taking a look at Master Duel. I haven't played Master Duel in a really long time, but I think I plan on streaming soon. I'll make a more official announcement soon. I think my plan right now is to play on Master Duel and kind of climb the rank ladder with this deck that you're looking at right here. So that is Kashtira, Utopia, but yeah, Master Duel obviously just has like a completely different ban list, and I hadn't really been keeping up with the Master Duel ban list in a long time. So when I went back to this deck, it was like, oh my gosh, like half of my deck is on the Forbidden and Limited list on some level. The last time I played, I did not play the Kashtira stuff, and yeah, it is like super duper limited, but I still think it's worth playing. And hopefully you can see that in a couple of duels. But I'll go card by card, and I'll show just like a few replays. And again, this is pretty much the deck I plan on streaming with, because Master Duel is so overpriced. It's kind of nuts, but I'll talk about that more later. In any case, okay, I have Driver, one copy of Driver. So Psyframe Gear Gamma is actually at 2, so that's really cool. It's a really good counter to Max C. The whole deck, you know, all of Master Duel revolves around Max C, obviously. I hate how Master Duel's deck thing works. Like, you can't change the order. You can't really, like, group cards. But in any case, one copy of Gaga Child. So the cool thing, like one of the big interactions, I guess, if you can afford it, if you don't need an extra level 4 body, is like Onomatopoeia is like an imperm magnet, right? Your opponent's like, oh, he's going to special summon 3 monsters from his hand or 2 monsters from his hand. If I stop that, he won't be able to do anything. But, you know, most of the time your targets you're going to add is Coat and then Gaga Child. Both of these can be special summoned from the hand. So your opponent like literally just like waste a card by doing that, essentially. So that's why I play it. That's why I play this card over like other ones. I do run one copy of Glove too. Like if you need to go for a higher end, like you do need another level 4 body, and you're like willing to risk your opponent having imperm, like, you know, Glove is definitely another option. Or if you open one, you grab the other one, of course. 2 copies of Ash. I do run one copy of Crossout. It's crazy that this card is like limited to 1, but it is worth playing. Like obviously you need as many cards to counter Max C. And then other, you know, which Ash Blossom does. I talked about Gaga Code, one copy of Glove, one copy of Diameter. I don't really know what limiting this card does, but yeah, I obviously play the Mathmech stuff a little bit differently just because I'm not playing Mathmech. It's actually just like a very generic level 4 engine. There have been times where, and I think I will show one, where I like have Circular and Diameter in my opening hand. So then I just like use Circular Effect to send the last one, and then I normal summon. And then suddenly I have like 3 level 4 bodies, which is really important. 1 copy of Ascended Sage, 3 copies of Utopia. So this card works really well with the Kashtira stuff. Kashtira Rise Heart, 1 copy of Fenrir, 2 copies of Unicorn. All of these cards obviously hit on some level, but you know, Unicorn is a 1 card, like you'll have an XYZ on the field, which is really important because, you know, this isn't the best extender because you do have to have an XYZ on the field. So that can be a little bit like weird sometimes. So like having the Kashtira engine available to like make that happen. Not only does it give you an XYZ body, but it also gives you a free level 4 without normal summoning. So these cards work really well together. And of course this just searches like all the most important cards in your deck. 1 copy of Nibiru, again, just kind of like a cross-out target essentially. 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army. This searches your Utopia. This also searches Rise Heart. So all of these things can come into play. This is a warrior monster. This is a warrior. So you're going to have like plenty of use for this card. If this card was at 3, this deck would be a lot better, I think. 3 copies of Onomatopoeia. 1 copy of Pot of Prosperity. It's another one of those limited cards. It's usually like, you're never going to go 6 with this one, but seeing the top 3 cards is obviously like really important. 1 copy of the Rank Up Magic Utopia Force, 1 copy of Theosis, Pressure Planet. So yeah, I guess there's only just a few of these, but again, it's super worth it. 3 copies of Pickup. So this is like really good with Utopia, obviously. So you can just like send something for free. 1 copy or 2 copies of Call by the Grave. It's like semi-limited Master Duel. 1 copy of Imperm. Again, just like another like cross-out target technically. And then 1 copy of Factorial. Onto the extra deck, you have your F-Zero package, regular Utopia to go with S39, just a free overlay so that you can use number 99 Utopia Dragonar twice. Yeah, Dryden is not banned in Master Duel, another one of those weird things. So then you can also play Chakanine. Technically, this can also be a double Zeus opportunity if your opponent has a monster in defense position. but it's just really cool to have this like generic removal card. It's also just like a fun card. This is 2 copies of Laplation. There are times where you can make one during your opponent's turn. This is one you don't do it very often, so it could probably be worth taking one out and like putting in 1 copy of Omega, because if you do, you know, activate Gamma, you can't really do anything with them. Now, if you do open up Automata Pickup, obviously you can change both levels to 4, and suddenly you have 2 free level 4 bodies on the board, which is really nice, but that's not obviously always the case. It's a very specific scenario. So for a long time, I did play Psy-Frame Lord Omega. For a long time, I did. So 2 copies of that, 1 copy of Alimbertian, 1 copy of Utopic Sage, 1 copy of number 76. So this is just a generic rank 7. It's also a number monster, so that can come up too a little bit. Number 23, Lancelot. It is technically an Omni Negate. It's the first effect, but it's kind of just a 1-for-1 trade with whatever card your opponent starts with. It also is like one of your only answers for evenly matched. 1 copy of number 38, 1 copy of Zeus. I don't really know what 2 would do. And then 1 copy of number 99, Utopia Dragonar. All right, let's jump into the first replay here. You know, Fenrir is a really good starter, just because Fenrir is good, first of all. And also because Riceheart is a free level 4. So just getting like 1 more level 4 body usually like makes a very big difference. You can go ahead and normal summon. This would be a great time if your opponent had Imperm, but you also do have Crossout Designator, which is really cool. You can change those two, and that's like having that extra level 4 is just like literally that much more important, so that you can use Gaga Coat to bring back that you know, your Utopia monster, Onomatopoeia. In the TCG, obviously you can't go into Alimbertian because, you know, Circular isn't banned, but you just get so much more out of it, you know, instead of just like going into whatever like rank 4 of choice that gets you 1 more level 4. Like Circular obviously just takes it on to a whole other level. Now I can go into Utopic Sage. I can bring out the ZS. I also have Ash in my hand, which is kind of ridiculous. I can change those 2 into F0. So I'm going to have Fenrir. I'm going to have number 99. And then I do have an active Super Factorial, which turns into an Omni Negate too, which is just so ridiculous. I miss playing this deck in the TCG so much. This is like the most fun deck to play. And it's cool to like have that Kashtira engine too. Like I feel like I'm playing the deck at full power, even though the deck is like limited to no end. Like it does, there's enough cards to where like it feels like this is full power. Like I can only imagine with 3 Unicorn, 3 Pressure Planet, like this deck would be so sick. And there goes number 99. So, you know, I can't use the effect now because I do need 3 zones open for the Super Factorial. So that's a bit unfortunate, but still my end board is like really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Ash. I think I'm going to try to just like pick another like card out of his hand instead of trying to get like the most value out of Super Factorial. I kind of just would rather have that Omni Negate available. You know, you can obviously chain these so that you can use both at the same time. You just have to make sure that, you know, Super Factorial is the last one, because it does special summon in the same chain. So it doesn't technically block number 99. That monster is going to be on the board. So he's going to lose a card out of his hand, and then I'm obviously probably going to go for like Hope Harbinger here. So I still have Fenrir effect. Like I haven't really done anything. All I did was activate Ash. I still have F0. So he goes for the field spell. I think I actually snipe it right out of his hand. And I'm like quite sure, like after this, that's probably his only copy, because otherwise why would he have searched it? So I went ahead and used Hope Harbinger, especially because if he would have tributed over my monsters, that would have sucked. And then he normal summons Rabina, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and negate the Toucan, because all I have to do is stop the Eglin at this point. And I like have the answer for that, besides the fact that I have Fenrir too. So even if he did find a way to end it, it wouldn't really matter. There he goes. He normal summons. He's not going to be able to get the other one. Like, I know the last card in hand now, especially. So this dude is just going to be stuck on the board. I still, like, have number 99 for next turn. Besides the fact that I already have, like, way more than enough for lethal. Here is the second duel. And I think this was... I talked about this during the deck profile. You know, kind of a very basic setup, but it is still cool. Like, you kind of... I feel like you kind of view these as a brick, maybe. Like, oh, you don't want to see any of the Mathmech cards. It's just, like, not necessarily true. I mean, seeing essentially all of them does suck. Like, I even had Super Factorial in my hand, but still going to be able to make like quite a bit out of it. I'm going to be able to go to number 99, which is nice. And also super factorials here. I have an imperm in my hand too. So my board's not going to be like the worst thing in the world. For a super bricky hand, I'd say this worked out pretty well. I can use the rank up Magic Force. I need to, now like when I'm playing this, like I feel like I need to have the shiny versions of these cards. Like I just have like a regular Dragonar. I think my Utopia Force and my S39. I think those are the only shiny cards I have in the deck. Here's an Omni Negate, so I'm going to be able to trade with whatever the first card of my opponent's is. I think he actually sets cards, but this end board is very versatile, which I actually really like. I thought he was going to play Labyrinth. I figure that's like probably what this was. I do not think that's what it is. There goes Unicorn, so I can go ahead and switch these to attack position. He's going to try to use Magic Cylinder. Obviously, I have to negate that. I don't have a choice. So then I'm thinking, okay, well, let me now go like into Hope Harbinger. And then let me now use Super Factorial. That way I can get rid of this face down. I can get rid of one of his back row and then one card from his hand. I'm getting like maximum value out of it. It's like literally going -3 from this interaction. And then I can turn them into F-Zero, which is also really good. There's Laplation. This is an awesome deck. It's like so fun to play. It's very unique. I thought like maybe he had Mirror Force, so I probably should have thrown this into defense position. I don't know. Whenever I'm playing in these lower like formats or whatever, or like ranked levels, I feel like people are playing more like janky cards like that. I don't even know. I have no idea what this is. I might as well use Laplation. I guess I could have potentially used it for the last back row, but nothing had really been prompted, so I guess that's kind of like a weird part of Master Duel. I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Unicorn, use the effect, get Theosis. Probably won't even like, go into a new monster, because like kind of like what's the point? Like I might as well, add Rise Heart. Nice to have in my hand. But, these two are just like interruption too. You don't really have to just use them for, Exceed material. There's another back row there, but even if it is Magic Cylinder, like it's not enough. Another free card to have in my hand, which is always nice because there's a lot of discarding in this deck, obviously. I thought he had like the Monk of the Tenyi card or something. I figured that's what it was. This deck is so cool. So when an XYZ monster is destroyed, like this gets to add it to like any monster on the field. So I was still able to go for lethal. Not that it really mattered in this context, but there's so many weird random effects in this deck, like battle protection effects and like battle gain effects. Here is the last duel, starting off with Max C. Obviously, it's just part of the game, but this is a really good opening, obviously. Okay, being able to use Max C, Imperm, Psyframe is pretty nice. I was kind of worried, like, oh, he's going to go into Sprite stuff, and I was like, oh, wait, like, he used Obedience School. He's locked into, I believe, like, Beast Monsters, specifically, and then those get destroyed during the end phase, so nothing really going on there. I feel like he should have gone into the Melfi stuff. I don't know what was happening, but you have to have every, counter possible to Max C. Kind of surprised he didn't activate it during the draw phase to play around like talents or something. But, I would have had the answer for it, and I could have gone into Psyframe, but it is what it is. Actually, that kind of would have been bad for me because he doesn't have any cards in his hand. Oh, no, never mind. I actually did. In this case, I had Automata pickup. I could have used both of those for free, essentially. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, this is what I was talking about in the deck profile, too. Like, imperming that does absolutely nothing because both of them can be brought out for free. I think he does end up scooping eventually, but this is really amazing. I haven't even used Coat yet. I just added Circular. So I'm going to be able to go into, like, 2 Alan Bershin, probably. I think that's probably how I play it. Special summon the Astrotopia, turn those into F-Zero. Like, it's all just, like, super ridiculous. There goes Alan Bershin. Get rid of probably the Kit Kalantosa, because it's in defense position, and I can do a little bit of damage against the Ferjit. Although, I don't know, there is like a random battle log somewhere in this deck. So many small texts, like, that's hard to remember. Like, you can only attack this, you can't attack directly. There is a lot of, like, nuance to the deck in that regard. Obviously, we're going into S39 here. ranking up. I hate that they did the imperm column thing. I think I've talked about that a long time ago. It shouldn't glow. Like, playing into the imperm column is like part of like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, we've all done it, you know, and like I kind of feel like they're taking that experience away. The animations are really cool. I've not played Master Duel in a really long time. Oh yeah, I actually do things a little bit differently here. Instead of going into F-Zero, I actually go into Trident. The cool thing, like, I had to get creative because I wanted to use Super Factorial. And the way that I got around it was this, because the rotation of Mathmech monsters was weird, I remember, but I'm going to be able to get rid of one. Like, I had to get access to one. I think it was Nabla. Or Diameter. I don't think I had that one. But whatever happens, I can use Dryden again, you know, seeing what he does. Dryden only destroys face-up cards, by the way. But luckily for me, I did have one. But I can also now go into Super Factorial, because I got rid of both of those Mathmech cards through Dryden. You know, unless he was playing, like, Morphing Jar or something. Like, you never know. I don't know. People set weird stuff in these lower rank things. But I'm just kind of adding insult to injury, I guess. But here comes Laplation. I can probably go into, like, yeah, number 76. Because if I went into Lance, I wouldn't be able to use it. Because then, you know, negating that first effect would be like your own card, which is bad. You don't want to negate your own cards. So I can add that. You know, number 76 doesn't really matter, other than being like a shiny card, essentially. I think he had Penny. So he's just going to pass turn, and obviously I have way more than enough for lethal here, so I can just go to the battle phase and clean things up. Hope Harbinger, little insult injury, could have ended the game with one less attack. But yeah, that is my Kashtira Utopia deck. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.